Hi, good evening. This is Dhirendra Gaur from Let's Talk Media International. Now, the elections in US are coming closer, and so is the topic, why do such elderly people run America? The US has become a hotspot for debates about whether people in political sphere can ever be too old to lead. The top contenders for 2024 US presidential elections, Joe Biden and Donald Trump, are the oldest to ever seek election to the office of the US president. Biden is the first octogenarian to occupy the Oval Office, and his main rival, Donald Trump, is 77. Monmouth University poll taken in October showed that roughly three-fourths of voters think Biden is too old for the office, and nearly half of the voters think Trump is too old to serve. So, this is the status, this is the general opinion of the public in America about the aging leadership. For 140 years, William Henry Harrison held the record as the oldest person ever elected for president until Ronald Reagan came along. Harrison was relatively agile at 68 when he took office in 1841, and Reagan was 69 at his first inauguration in 1981. When President Reagan left the Oval Office at the age of 77, he was the oldest person ever to have served as president. And when Trump left office at the age of 74, making him the third oldest to hold the office behind Reagan and Biden. Biden is currently serving of US presidentship at 81, and he's again seeking for re-election. According to the Census Bureau, the median age in America is 39.9 years, which is half of the Biden's age. Yes. And if you see the average age in the House and Senate, which is at 58 and 64 respectively, a word often used to describe the nation's governing class is gerontocracy. And gerontocracy is a term, is a leadership, kind of a leadership, which is more common in the organizations of religious matters, religious organizations, communist communities, countries like China, Russia, where democracy do not exist in most practical meaning. In US, there have been calls to impose limits for referral elected offices. After all, federal officers and enforcement officers have mandatory retirement age at 57. Yet the most stressful job in the world has no upper age limit. It sounds like a fine idea to me. So does having the generosity to step aside and think of others, and having the wisdom to realize that life is short and about more than just giving to work, and having the grace to do what John F. Kennedy, the nation's second youngest president, once said, to pass the torch to a new generation of America. Few months back, CBS News conducted poll surveys among teenagers, youths, and elders, and its results are published on their website that I'm presenting now for your reference. CBS News poll had certain set of the questions which they threw among different category of the people, and which were the mix of the voters which were under 30. So the first question, if you see on your screen, is legacy of older generations. 61% says environment is bad, 55% says there are less opportunities what it used to be earlier, 51% says that world is more dangerous now. There another question, politics better if more young people would have been there. 67% agree to this in the age group of 18 to 29, while 51% also agree in the age group of 65 plus. Had minorities being selected, the number would be 54% and 28% respectively. And people believe in the age of 18 to 29 that if women would have been selected in politics, it would have been better. And the number is 51%, while the same is 65 plus feel 41% women elected in the politics. Next, the candidate age factor in your vote. Yes, that matters to them. 68% says yes for Biden's and 54% says yes for Trump's. It is a big question. This is a big indicator about the certain anxiety in US population, voters. 48% people feel that neither Biden nor Trump understand needs and concern of younger people. Very alarming. If we go with the CBS News poll record, which is on your screen, it is a serious matter of concern. Majority in the age of 18 to 29 feel that we have already reached the American dream, while the 62% believes they have the confidence in their governance in their country that they will reach to the American dream in the times to come, while 32% in this age bracket has just surrendered, lost the hope whether they'll be able to reach the American dream or not in the times to come. And if you see in the age bracket of 30 to 64, 50%, whooping 50%, are almost convinced that they will never reach it, the American dreams. I mean, while remaining 50% are quite optimistic, mix of whether they have reached it or will someday they will reach. If we refer to the age third column, 65 plus, 57% believes that they already reached the American dream, they already reached it, achieved it. And while 35% believes that no, we won't be able to reach the American dream. So these numbers are saying something to the policymakers, to the lawmakers, and to the people who are in the power, who have to empower the youth so that they take control, they take baton of the power. So this was a short presentation in my endeavor to make the people aware that what is causing the most advanced country anxiety among the youth of that nation. So who's listening? I mean, what kind of the actions, preventive actions or proactive actions has been taken at the top level by the lawmakers so that there is an environment, there is a scenario, there is a holistic environment where youth are encouraged to come into the politics and take the driving seat. Sooner the better. With this, I sign off. This is your Dhirendra Gaur. Thank you very much for listening me out today.